some tough talk here, down for the dollar.
Yeah, well, basically he's trying to find, a new definition of the problem that we have with imbalances in the global economy. And he says that, it's a problem for everybody, as we know, when the dollar moves, and maybe that influence is too big, especially for emerging market currencies. And maybe the solution is to try and take away that dominance by coming up with some sort of multipolar virtual currency that won't be as affected by what happens in the U.S.
And so is Carney sort of going out on a limb by himself, or is his view something that's shared by other folks of his stature?
Well, it's the first time I think any of us have actually heard of an idea like this. So, who knows what people are going to think about it. I'm sure we'll hear more about it. But yeah, I think it's pretty fresh. It's new.
It's fresh, it's new. It's also hot on the heels of EU announcing that they're going to be investigating into Libra, the cryptocurrency that was announced by Facebook, which is yet to be unveiled, of course, as they want to go through the regulators. And indeed, Mark Carney has said it would need analyzing. But how much do you think this is a reaction to private sector, to talks of cryptocurrencies coming to the fore, and central banks wanting to get ahead of that curve and have their own to a certain extent?
Yeah, well, just to be clear, he's not talking about using Libra per se. It would be a currency that central banks be bound together and be something provided by the public sector. What he's saying is, look at the technology that we have. Why not, try and piggyback off of that and come up with something similar that's really useful and could make world trade more stable.
And sort of, did he sort of go into the idea of sort of what the mechanism would be to actually, pull this together? I mean, that would be, it seems like this would be a pretty significant effort to get all of the nations on board for this.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the very first draft of an idea. The way he set it up was to say, look, the dollar is dominant now, the renminbi is getting more dominant. Should we try and use the renminbi more? Well, that could be tricky too, because when you have the competing reserve currencies, there's often turbulence with that. So maybe what we need to do is coordinate, look it together, and try and work out a virtual currency that's based on multiple big currencies, so we don't have quite one dominant, where one central bank, in this case the Fed, affects so much of what happens in the world.
He's perhaps already come up with the acronym for it, SHC, Synthetic Hegemonic Currency, best provided by the public sector through a network of central bank digital currencies. When listening to him, how passionate did it seem? Some of the statements coming from him are quite notable. In the longer term, we need to change the game, he said. When the change comes, it shouldn't be to swap one currency hegemon for another.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to think big thoughts here and put out solutions. I mean, I'm sure everyone saw Larry Summers tweeting yesterday that we need a radical rethink of stuff. We need new solutions, and this is this is in a lot of ways redefining the problem. That people haven't talked about the dollar's dominance as being what's really driving imbalances in the world. It's just a side effect of the way that things work. So he's trying to be radical. I think it's something that a lot of people are going to consider. It's going to make people think.